Hey guys, welcome to our hangout tonight. I'm Brent.
I'm Julie.
We're Emerald Ambassadors from Pensacola, Florida, and we are thrilled that you're with us tonight. Beautiful weather today. Got a little nasty last night, but nice and chilly out today. So the way we like it, at least when it's time for cool weather. Lyndalyn is going to be our host tonight, our hostess tonight, and we're going to throw it her way. We have social media manager Vincent Orlick with us all the way from Phoenix, Arizona. And Lyndalyn, you guys take over and teach us a lot about social media tonight. Vincent, thanks so much for being with us.
Yeah, thanks for having me on.
Awesome. Well, I want to thank you too, Vincent, for answering the Facebook message and saying yes. Your insight has always been helpful, so appreciate you being on.
Good to hear that. Thank you. Thank you.
Let's start with a couple of do's and don'ts. Best practices on social media as far as doing it on your personal account, or do you need a business page?
Good start. Good place to start. So I would say that going forward, which is different than the past, than how it's been, than how a lot of people have built their business. Going forward, I would highly recommend having both. Having your, you have to have your personal profile, obviously. You can't even have a business page really without your personal profile. But Facebook is not really, they don't hate MLMs, but they don't have like a strong, a good feeling for network marketing, because a lot of folks in network marketing do use their personal profiles to grow their business, and it's contrary to how Facebook wants users to use the platform. They want people to use the platform in a more social manner rather than a more business manner. So when they start to see those types of activities, and we've seen this happen before, accounts get suspended, and just things don't work how they should. So if there's a way that you can maintain both, so you have your personal profile and you have a business page. The business page would be kind of like your home base on Facebook for your business. And that's not to say you can't share that information still on your personal profile and use your personal profile to connect with people, build those relationships up. But in all honesty, Facebook just really prefers that the business side of things be kept on the business pages. So if you do it there, putting your website link, your Plexus site link, on your business page in the spot where it asks for a website link to be posted, rather than putting it in comments and sending it in private messages, and even including it in group posts, even closed and secret groups. The one thing that you really have to always remember about Facebook is everything is Facebook there. Even private messages are Facebook. Facebook sees all that on the back end. So the algorithm that's running all the time, that sees everything, sees private messages, sees posts and comments from not only public profiles and groups and all that, but also the closed and secret things. So as private as you may think it is, it's private within yourselves for sure, but Facebook can still see it, and so that can cause a problem sometimes. For some people, maybe it hasn't to this point, but for others it has, and Facebook won't come out and tell you that because you did this, we're suspending your account. They'll kind of give more of a general overview of, your account is being suspended for 2 weeks for account activity that we're not fond of, and then you're kind of just shut down in a way for about 2 weeks. This happened last year around this time. I don't know if you guys remember this at all, if it affected your teams, but the convention contest, the night before Super Saturday, that Friday night, we emailed that out, the graphic, and we posted that on the Facebook page. And what everyone did, our ambassadors, was pretty typical of what we guys usually do, is copy and save and paste the graphic onto your pages, into messages and things. And it was funny because that one you can kind of tell, because really convention contest graphic, you're not necessarily sending that to or posting that for customers, or I mean it's more for your teams, right? It's more for this information. We want our teams to want to make sure they see it and everyone sees it as fast as possible. So that was a really strong indicator that the private messages and the closed and secret groups were part of the cause, part of the reason, because that's where a lot of people posted it. So what happened was that Friday night, when everyone was jumping all over it, all of a sudden 10 minutes, 15 minutes, a half hour after that went out, all these messages I started getting to my DMs, my direct messages, to my email, help, I just got suspended, I can't comment or post for 2 weeks. I was like, wow. And then as they started more coming in, I'm like, uh-oh, okay, so something specifically happened. And the only thing that happened in that time frame was the graphic. So as I was talking to more and more people about it that had their accounts suspended, it's like, yeah, they were like, I just saw the convention contest and posted that and let my team know, and it was definitely that. So whatever was involved with that, I mean, my theory is that it was just the same thing was being posted all over Facebook. So it was like a spam-ish activity that Facebook read, and then they identified what the spam content was, that graphic, and then whenever someone started posting it, that was like automatic that they got their account suspended. And there was all different levels. So long story short, you have to stay away from the spam-ish activities. Everyone can't just throw the same thing on Facebook all at the same time, because it's probably going to cause a problem.
Yeah, that's what I try to tell my team a lot. Yeah, sure, there may be great posts out there. Copy it and paste it somewhere, put it in a document, screenshot it on your phone or something, because if everybody puts it up the same day, and not even just everybody, even a quarter of everybody that on Facebook does it, then you're going to have problems. I've been in Facebook jail before, but it was back in the beginning when I started, when I was just puking plexus everywhere,
Right.
And I did that though with private messages too. Just copy and pasting the same exact thing to people got me in trouble. And then I learned a little more about Facebook, because I was a Facebook non-user practically before Plexus. So.
Yeah, so and it goes to the pages in the sense of if you're doing things like that on the page, then it's not as bad, and you're less likely to have a problem. The other thing is if you take the post that we put up on the company Facebook page and share it directly from there to your profile or to your page or to your group or to a private message, even that's less likely to get you in trouble, because you're doing the activity that Facebook really wants people to do, which is sharing between users and groups and all that. So it can get you in trouble, but as far as the pages, there's advantages to having the pages. There's also really the biggest advantage for having a page, I would say, is it gives you free and native analytics, insights they're called. There's a tab, if you have a page on Facebook, a business page, at the top there's a little tab that says Insights, and that will give you a wealth of information about your followers, about when they're online, the posts that you put up, which ones are the most popular, and even when it comes to reach, which is how many feeds they show up in, or even engagement. So which ones are most popular by likes, by comments, by shares. There's a lot of advantages to having that in addition to. Now, the downside of it is it's going to take some work, and it's not going to be quick to build that up. It's not like you start it tomorrow and in a week you have all your people are on there and you have thousands of followers or anything like that. It takes time, and then even once you have, say you have 5,000 followers on the page, Facebook kind of limits how many people see your post there, because they want you to pay for advertising. So the what's called the organic reach, the amount of people that it's reaching that you're not paying to reach, is sometimes lower or low, very low. Oftentimes it's very low when you post on a page. So the key there is to have good content, to have interesting things to say on the page. It may not be Plexus related all the time. It may be other things that, why is someone going to follow your page? Why are they going to bother to like your page and want to see it come up in their feed potentially? What information are you giving them that's different from others? So how many people are posting about Plexus? Thousands, and hundreds even within maybe their network that they're connected within. So you have to bring something to the table that's different and unique, and really for most people it's you personally. It's even on your business page, it's still about you. Someone's going to follow it because of you, because it's you specifically, your page. The whole thing with you're the brand, you are Plexus, but what do you bring specifically that someone else is going to want to follow for you, as opposed to all these other pages that are out there?
Right. Yeah. It all comes down to, I agree with you, definitely, content, what you're putting in there, and what's bringing people to your page. And as simple as those, do you see the dog in the midst of all these panda pictures, or whatever it is, to get people engaged with it.
Yep.
What is your feeling about boosting posts or paying for advertising on Facebook?
I mean, I would do it. If Facebook lets you, I would do it. So when you're boosting posts, you can only do that on a page.
Mm-hmm.
And this is kind of the part where Facebook does dislike network marketing and the MLMs, and they put it into that whole category where if they see it, they're going to prevent you from advertising. It even says it in the terms of service that MLMs are not allowed to advertise. But there's so many millions of things out there that I don't know. I don't know that they catch everybody all the time that they want to catch. In terms of catching them, if you will. You may even be able to run ads for a certain amount of time, and then eventually, like if they kind of catch your account, they may red flag it and just tell you not let you advertise anymore.
Mm-hmm.
And the advertising.
I haven't had any problems like that. My biggest thing is that you can only have 20% of the graphic have words on it. It needs to be mainly a picture on the graphic, and that's a huge. There's always writing on pictures that we share or whatever. So that's been my thing as far as doing it. I've paid advertisement, stuff. I've taken classes about advertising and all like that. So I've done it. I'm not sure that it's helped me greatly yet. Let me ask you this: as far as taking a post from your business page and sharing it to your personal page. How does that? I mean, does that help with organic reach?
Yeah, I definitely, because it's being shared to your network. Someone's going to see it,
right,
of your network. That's really kind of goes into the whole strategy with the page. You absolutely, if you have a page, you would want to do that. You'd want to share your content, not all the time, but maybe once or twice a week, or if there's something really that you want people outside of Plexus to see, like convention. Like there was a lot of cool things at convention, Leaders Retreat with Jewel. If you were there, even if you're not there, if you have like the post content from it, taking content from the company blog and taking that link and posting it on your page and then sharing that to your personal. That's all good stuff because it's about the company. It draws people in, and then they're gonna want to maybe talk to you about it, and if they're interested, they're gonna come to you about it. But yeah, like say when you start a page, you want to let people know. It's almost like when you start your Plexus business as an ambassador, you kind of do like a launch or an announcement in a way. You want to treat it in a similar way. Let people know, hey, I have a new page, and I would love it if you guys. Don't just try to add. Well, it won't let you add people. It's not like a group. You can't just add people into it. You can invite people, which is a good thing to do. But I would also first make some sort of an announcement with the link to your Facebook page in your personal profile and say, hey guys, I just started this page. I'd love it if you come over and then tell people what you're going to be sharing there. Why should they come and follow it? That's important, because otherwise, I mean, yeah, they may click the like button, sure, in that post, but otherwise, they may not. It may just be like, well, people follow so many pages now that they may just be like, I don't want to follow another page.
I've
you
used
really have to give value.
I've used bribery too, and told them that if they'll go like my page and like this, this thread as well as like my page, then I'll give a 3-day trial or whatever away to those who've done that in a certain amount of time frame. So.
Mm-hmm. Sure, an incentive, yeah. And one thing about the ads, here's what I would say about the ads. It's the targeting matters, definitely. And the way when you're targeting, I mean, you could target by so many different things. There's so many different things, and you want to target by not necessarily someone that you're already connected to. You can have this enormous reach to people that have talked about certain things in their status updates, or are in a certain location, or a certain demographic, fall into certain personas. There's so much opportunity out there to do that, and it doesn't have to cost you an arm and a leg. I would highly recommend to continue trying it and trying all the different things that you can target, and also send people to your page. Do it for the purpose of getting followers onto your Facebook page, because when you're sending them to the website, that's when there might be a problem if you're sending to your Plexus site or off of Facebook. But if you're sending to the page to develop that page, that's a good tactic too. Spend like $20 and run a short campaign to however many people it lets you kind of reach, and target people that have talked about or target demographics like women of a certain age in a certain area. Even if it's very hyper-local niche will work. It will definitely work, and people will like your page. And then from there, now you have an audience to start with, at least, to kind of to market to.
The narrower, the better, is what I find. The more you can shrink
Definitely.
that audience down from the billions where it looks cool that you're going to reach to the smaller thousands, you're actually going to get better interaction, is what I find.
Absolutely, and that because all those people aren't going to go and follow your page right away, but the ones that do, all of those people aren't going to become a customer or ambassador right away. So now you're continuously able to potentially market to them, and that's okay. That's okay if you're doing that on a regular basis, on a daily or weekly basis.
Absolutely. Okay, let's switch from Facebook to Instagram.
Mm-hmm.
Give us some insight, because I'm one of those people that I'm pretty good on Facebook. I know a little bit about Instagram, and as long as I can link that to my Facebook and my Twitter, then it's posted on both of those for me. I know nothing about Twitter, although you think I do because you see my post there, but it's only because it's posted from someplace else to there for me. So let's talk about Instagram.
Instagram is probably the one that when this question comes up, usually what happens is everyone wants to know, like, what other platform should I be using? I'm on Facebook. I use Facebook all the time. What other platforms could I potentially use for my business? I would still say Instagram is probably the easiest one to just pick up and start using, personally and professionally. The thing is, there's a lot of spam there right now. There's a lot of spam. Like, and if you're if you're on there and you put a post up that's Plexus related, product related, business opportunity related, you'll see the comments. In the comments, you'll get like a comment or two. One of them or both of them might be from, if you click on the profile, it might be from like a bot network marketing, lead generation type thing that's just looking to sell you something, sell you email marketing or whatever, and that's rampant on there. So you just have to be aware of that and not like waste your time going further with anything with those people, with those accounts, I should say. But Instagram is fun. It's mobile. It's easy to use. It's right on your phone. It's visual. It conveys a message that you potentially want to put out there in a pretty quick manner. Some of our top jewels have absolutely used Instagram to build their business either alongside Facebook or even a little bit more than Facebook, and some of those have done so, from like Celeste, who's been doing it for a while, to someone like Emily Roberts, who I use as an example all the time. She rose up pretty quickly within about a year or so, and she used Instagram a lot. So it's helped. I mean, I think it hits a lot of the potential demographic, and it's a good spot for exposure, because your Instagram posts are, unless you have a private account, unless you have it set to private, your Instagram posts are available for anyone to see. Especially if you're using the hashtags, then it's getting put. Your post is getting put, that you put a hashtag on. It's getting put into like this big feed of that specific hashtag. So, for example, like we use the one plexus hashtag all the time.
Right.
On Instagram. So if you go on Instagram and you do a search for hashtag one plexus, it's not just us, it's all you guys too. I mean, a lot of ambassadors use that on their posts, and especially at convention, and leading up to last year's convention, that was a pretty popular one. But it's still kept going since then. It's kind of like a brand in a way at this point for us. But it lets you see all this plexus related or ambassador related content. So it just scrolls. I mean, I forget how many thousands there. I think it's like 15,000 or something now. Posts that have that hashtag, and you could when you do the search for it on Instagram, you can see. So there's a really good assortment of kind of what that stands for, what that means. You get an idea of, well, I want to know more about plexus. Well, go search for the hashtag one plexus on Instagram. You'll see all these posts. And now, would you do that as an ambassador, send someone to do that? No, because you don't want them to get hooked up with another ambassador whose post they see. But if you have your own hashtag that you essentially brand for yourself, you create it yourself. For example, Celeste.
wildaboutplexus.com, because that's my website.
That's your website. So you put that on every post or just certain ones?
I put it on every plexus post. I don't necessarily put it on personal post. Should I?
Depends. It just depends how you want to brand yourself. If you feel like everything that you're doing is representative of your brand, your plexus brand, then I would say yeah, because then you can send someone. You can say, hey, here's this hashtag. Even put that hashtag on your business cards, and say, go look that up on Instagram. And if someone pulls it up on Instagram, they're gonna see. For that one, they're only going to see your content, I'm sure. There's no one else that's putting that hashtag on their posts. I mean, I can't imagine that anybody would really, because it's so personalized, right? No, I know. Well, but it's so personalized, right? Like, there's just there's no reason for someone to use that. But that's the idea. That's exactly it. Because it's another place that you can tell someone to go. If they I don't use Facebook much. I mean, I'm on there, I have a profile, but I love Instagram. Oh, you love Instagram? I do too. Here's my hashtag. You should totally check this out sometime. And then the link to your website is on your profile, probably, right?
Yep.
Okay. So, and you just tell them there's all my stuff from that's me, that's my hashtag essentially, that's me. And then if you want to get more information or buy or whatever, click the link in my profile. It's just like another website for you in a sense. It's another way to put yourself out there.
That's probably real important that we should say too. On all of your social media, you need to have your information, your website where they can get to purchase stuff. You know, you need to have that about section filled out. That's super important for everybody to do, and a lot of people don't.
Yeah, I would absolutely have that. There's usually on every single profile that you fill out on a social media channel, there's a spot to put in your website. Another, you know, maybe like a little trick or hack is you could use a site like Bitly, which is bit.ly, and Bitly is a URL shortener site.
Yep.
But it also will give you some analytics. So it's just like a little added layer. If you copy and paste your URL into Bitly, it'll automatically shorten it. I think it works for our links. I don't think there's anything that keeps it from not working. But if you copy and paste it into the Bitly box on the top, it'll automatically shorten it, and then it'll give you a shortened link that looks like numbers and letters. But then you can actually customize it if you want. So if you want to customize it to what your Plexus website is, the name, you could do that, or you can leave it the other way. And then that link, if you take that link and use it in other places, then you can come back to the Bitly site and you can see the clicks and the stats. It doesn't show you a whole lot of, like a ton of information, but it does tell you, you know, it's got this many clicks on this day, this many clicks on that day. It's just like a nice little added layer of information to have. And at the very least, it tells you, well, I'm using that shortener just on my social media profiles. Mm-hmm. So I know this is how much activity I'm getting on between Instagram and Twitter and Pinterest. I mean, whatever you're using, you have an idea at least of, you know, on maybe this day is higher than this day. Was this a Saturday? Was this a Monday? What was the reason? Was this a holiday? You know, why was that? Was I at a convention? Did that make a difference? Was I posting a lot, not enough? All that type of thing. It just provides you a little extra layer to go by.
So the benefit of that is just to get that extra information.
And it's way shorter. I mean, it goes from shopmyplexusproducts.com/Lindell and to bit.ly XYZ/XYZ.
Yeah.
You know, it shortens it.
It could just be your name. It could be your name. You could just do one like your link, your Plexus link is just bit.ly/Brett French. You know, I mean, as long as it's not taken, you can use it, or you can use some sort of variation on it if you want to. Brett French Plexus. It's just another way for it to be.
I have an Instagram account that I've had that I've never really used. So I really need to take that, and that's a huge avenue for me with my Plexus, is what you're telling me. I mean, I just looked up the one.
It could be.
It had like 19,000 posts, one Plexus on it. Right now.
Right. Yeah, because so many people use it now. So that's great for us, for the company. That's awesome. You know. I would say, as far as the content that you want to put on there, it's personal. I mean, you do want to do some personal stuff. I would shy away from putting up the graphics saying, you know, this is the promo that's going on right now, and you know, this is just that type of stuff. It does not play well there, because again, you're gonna get the spam accounts that hit you up. No one's really going to pay attention to those. It's so easy to just scroll past things. You need something there that can attract attention. The other thing that Instagram has is not just the pictures, but there's a video option too. That you can have a 15-second video, up to a 15-second video. And that can be something that you film real time right now, or you can go and film it with your phone, you know, and put together something that you're totally comfortable with, and you know it's exactly what you want to say. You wrote it out and everything, and then it's on your phone, and then you can even upload it rather than just recording it in real time and doing 15,000 takes.
Yeah.
So that's, yeah. Well, I mean, I do the same thing. Trust me. That everybody does. Everybody does. But the video is powerful, because the video, when you're scrolling through the feed, the video usually just starts playing like it does on Facebook. It's the
Okay.
same thing. And if it's something good, someone is going to stop because, again, it's only 15 seconds. So it's like, well, I'm in, you got me, I'm here for 3 seconds already, well, I may as well finish watching the rest. But it's all about the content. It's all about getting people's attention. There's all this stuff out there. There's so much content. There's so many people posting, and businesses and individuals, and a lot of bad stuff, a lot of great stuff, and you're competing with all of it. You're competing with all of it. It's not just other network marketing companies. It's not weight loss companies. It's not business opportunities. It's everything. You're competing for attention among everyone. And so how are you going to get people's attention in that moment? Even if it's just for that moment, how are you going to get it?
Because that moment may give you that time long enough for them to say, I'm going to follow this person because they seem to have interesting stuff. And that's what it's all about. It's getting them to follow you, right, and seeing you over and over and over again.
Right. And that's where it comes in as far as the strategy, where that. So I always put myself in your shoes, the shoes of the ambassadors. If it was me, what I would do is like 80, 85, 90% of what I put on Instagram would not be Plexus. It would be almost as far away from Plexus as possible, maybe tying into it here and there, but it's more about me, because again, why is someone going to follow you? It's the only thing that you can bring to it that's unique is you. Your viewpoint, your content, the pictures that you take. If you're not comfortable posting pictures of your kids, your family, that's okay. You don't have to do that. But if you're not comfortable, don't do it. Don't do it, because I know a lot of people that are like, oh, I don't want to do that. And it's, well, you don't have to. It's not going to make or break your business or your brand or your content on Instagram. Keep it about you. Keep it about what you're doing. If you're doing something cool at an event, or something cool just happened, tell a story. Tell a 15-second story about what just happened. If it was interesting or amazing or sad or whatever, that's what it's all about. It's just being unique.
Absolutely. Britt, did you have any more questions?
You had said the platforms to use for your business. You said Instagram was up there, Facebook. Do a lot of people use LinkedIn? Is that something, or is that something totally different that just gives you?
I don't know if a lot of people really are on there. I always highly recommend having a profile.
Okay.
Because there's a couple reasons. Number one, it's probably the only one that you can truly, as a Plexus ambassador, you can truly kind of leave it once you set it up.
Okay.
It's an online profile. I mean, I wouldn't recommend leaving it, but if you have to, it's okay. It's okay, because that's your online presence for like business. So it's for credibility. A lot of times your LinkedIn profile is one of, if not the number one thing that comes up with search results. If someone searches your name, if you have a LinkedIn profile, that comes up. And if that's coming up at the top, and you have it filled out, and it's all your relevant information, especially if you have people in your downlines or you that have worked previously in the health industry or as a nutritionist or anything like that, that's going towards building the credibility. And people may see that, and they do click on it. They'll click on it, because most people have a LinkedIn profile of some sort, and they want to go and see what you have to say on yours. And if it's professional looking enough, that buys you more time. It buys you more engagement. The opposite side is, if you have one and it's not set up well, and you have a profile picture that is, like your Facebook profile, and it's you, working in the yard or driving your car. So I don't know, like it's just not like a professional looking picture.
Okay.
That's not the best way to go. You want to have a clear profile that's easy to see. It's you. Also, that's recent.
Not
For
your
sure.
cat.
What's
Not your cat, right?
not your cat. Not your cat. Not your cat.
Darn.
And and filling out the headline as far as you're this level ambassador with Plexus Worldwide, putting in the information linking to the Inc. 5000 list, the direct selling news articles and all that type of thing, but also putting your information in there for your previous work history. You may get a connection here and there, but honestly, LinkedIn, you're probably not going to get too much off of LinkedIn in terms of prospects, because the folks on there are, number one, they're very sales savvy. Most of them are business professionals and have been for a number of years. They know when someone's trying to sell them something. And then there's a separate thing about the LinkedIn audience itself. The people that are on LinkedIn are generally, they're business focused, and you'll even see people complain about, oh, it's turning into Facebook. I hate posts like these. This isn't how LinkedIn used to be, and so you have to be careful there too. I see some ambassadors posting similar things that they would post on Facebook on LinkedIn, and there's no likes or comments. There's no engagement, which is ultimately what you're trying to do. You're trying to engage with people and get them to engage back with you.
Are there any new social media platforms that are new now or new coming out that you know of that we should look for?
I would. I mean, there's a lot of new platforms. There's always new ones coming out. There's a new one that came out like within the last 2 weeks that all the marketers in the industry, as far as social media, are hopping on. But it's not a place really that is going to benefit you. It's so new. It's just so new that it's not even worth your time yet. My focus would be on the big ones that make sense for you. Not spreading yourself too thin. I know social media for most folks, Facebook is a huge part of their business, but it's because they're on Facebook anyway. Everyone's on their phone and on Facebook. As far as devoting your time, serious time to like a bunch of them, is there benefit? Yes. I mean, but do you have that time to spend? Probably not. I mean, I have a full-time job doing it for the company, and it's like I have a million things coming in all the time. So just that aspect of it, you really have to pick and choose what's going to work the best for you. So what you're most comfortable with, what you feel you like, what do you like using? Maybe you don't like using Pinterest, so don't use Pinterest. You like using Instagram. Use Instagram along with Facebook. Maybe you do like using Twitter. Maybe you've already been using Twitter for things. Twitter's got a heavy learning curve for someone just jumping on there that's brand new to it, because there's a lot of noise on Twitter. A lot of noise. A lot of people just like tweeting advertisements and broadcasting, and Twitter's really a communication, a back and forth tool. That's what it's mainly designed for, but a lot of companies and people don't use it that way, so there's just a lot of stuff going out there constantly.
Linda,
Okay, what about YouTube? YouTube still good, or is it going out? What's your opinion?
No, YouTube's huge. I mean, YouTube, Google owns YouTube. It's as long as that's the case, it's not going anywhere. It comes up SEO, search results. It's hugely important for that. The only place where it's not nearly as important anymore is on Facebook, because Facebook has their own video now that they do, where they want you to upload your video from your phone to Facebook and not to YouTube, or to do it to both. And whereas before, and really within the last year, you could take a YouTube link, upload it on Facebook, and it would be fine. It would get, people would see it, and it would get a good reach, especially if it was something really good. People would see it. Now, since Facebook has really moved towards video itself, if you put up a video on Facebook, as opposed to, if you put the two of them side to side, a YouTube link versus a Facebook video that's natively uploaded into a post. The Facebook video will blow away the YouTube link. The YouTube link will get nothing or very little attention because Facebook's algorithm is already it's like preferential to the Facebook video. They don't want the YouTube link or YouTube to succeed. Facebook and Google kind of don't get along.
Right.
So because Google owns YouTube, it's like the YouTube stuff gets pushed down and the Facebook video gets elevated. So if you're doing a video, upload it to both. Upload it directly to Facebook into a post from your phone and upload it to YouTube if you have a channel on YouTube because you want to get the benefit of both.
What about this new Facebook Live, is it called?
That's what I was going to ask about.
It looks like Periscope.
Yeah, Facebook Live. Exactly. So it started out a few months back where, Periscope started out last March, and there was one before that called Meerkat. Meerkat started last February, and Meerkat came out. I loved it. I was using it all the time, and then there was a rumor about Periscope coming out. Twitter owned Periscope, so they were going to blow away Meerkat, and they did. Meerkat's kind of really, it's very niche, almost dead at this point for all intents and purposes. Periscope is big, but now Facebook Live is their answer essentially to Periscope. So it was only initially offered to celebrities that had a certain access to a certain app called Facebook Mentions. But eventually they're making it available now to the regular everyday Facebook user. And I got it, I don't know, a couple weeks ago finally. And it's just like Periscope in that sense. You can just go live using your phone. You hit the button. When you go to do a status update, there's a little icon that says "Go Live," or you can go live by pressing that icon.
I don't have it yet. I don't think.
I keep looking for it, but I don't have it either.
You'll know it when you get it because it'll tell you. There'll be a little blue caption thing that says "Go live with this here." Like it'll tell you that it's there. And I mean, there's millions of people that probably don't have it yet. It's just that's how they do it. They just roll it out in waves to however many people they do at a time. But yeah,
I do have it.
Do you?
Okay, so when I went to status update, just so y'all know what to do.
Yep.
Sort of over towards the right-hand side of the bottom where you have your camera and where you tag people and your smiley face and your location and all that kind of stuff, there's a little circle with a person in it. When you touch that, it asks you to access your camera, and then it tells you to go live. So I have it, yay!
And if you've used, there you go. If you've used Periscope, it's similar. Like it'll before you go live, it'll give you some a space to put a title on it, and then it'll tell your connections that you went live. So if I did it right now and we're friends on Facebook, then you would get a little red notification on the top that says I just went live, and you can click here, and when you click there, it'll take you to it. Sometimes it's weird. Sometimes if it's a quick one, it'll take you there, but the person's already done with the live part, and it'll ask you can watch the replay if you want. And they're still working the bugs out. I think it's depending on connection and what kind of computers you're using. I mean, it could be really slow and laggy, but you can make comments. So if I'm live and you come to it, you can make comments that I see on next to the feed.
Yeah, it's like Periscope, Brent.
Just the same thing.
Okay.
And it can only be done from a mobile device, right? It can't.
Yeah, so it's Facebook's answer to Periscope. Okay. Phone from mobile.
But can it be?
I even think it has. And I don't know about Android either. I haven't really. I don't know if it matters if it's Android or not. If it's just iOS, Apple.
Right.
Okay.
Okay. All right.
I've tested it a couple of times. It works pretty well.
Cool. Brent, do you See any other questions?
No, ma'am.
Okay.
Vincent, thank you so much for your time tonight.
Thank you.
Appreciate
Thank you. Thanks for having me on.
Giving it up for us, and got me a couple pages of notes right here. I'm ready to jump into this Instagram. I've got to get into this Instagram world and see how I do. And
Brent, let me make a recommendation, okay? Don't think about it like I gotta use this for my business. Just use it. Just use it. Just be non-ambassador. You're not an ambassador. You're on Instagram. You don't do the Plexus business. Just do yourself. Just do your own thing. Share what you want to share. Follow other people. Find some things that you're interested in. Search for those words on Instagram and see what comes up, the accounts, the hashtags, see other ones that you want to follow, because that's how it all starts to build. You have to follow other people, they'll follow you back, build an audience, and then as you're posting, you'll start to build more and more and interact with more people, and then it just kind of naturally happens that they're going to want to know more about you.
That's cool. Bless you.
Thank you.
Bless you. I think that's important on anything, you guys, is that you have to build an audience. We can't say that enough. Whether it be on Instagram where you're following people and they'll follow you back. Same thing on Twitter, really, is you follow people there and then some of them in turn follow you back. Building an audience, building a relationship then with that audience is how it works best. And that is, I agree totally about Instagram. I started Instagram first with business and it wasn't working, and finally, instead of taking a picture or a selfie or whatever was going on, whatever event I was attending or whatever, and posting it on Facebook, I would post it on Instagram and then allow it to post that same picture on both Facebook and Twitter for me. So I was hitting all three markets with one photo and one post. So I think it's just a matter of getting used to doing all that and hooking them all together. So.
Well, I appreciate your time. Julie, I think my first time that I ever rode in the Plexus Mobile, Vincent was the driver in Phoenix back in me and a bunch of crazy women, right?
That's right. Yeah. That was fun. That was fun.
Oh, the stories he could tell.
That was awesome. It was a lot of fun. Well, hey, Vincent, I have a question for you after we hang up, so I want to ask you a quick question when we go. Guys, thank you so much. Lynn, do you have anything else?
I do not. If you'll pray us out, we'll be done.
I will. Let's pray, guys. Father, thank you for the opportunity that we have to meet tonight. Lord, thank you for Vincent and for his heart for Plexus and helping out all of these teams. Lord, I know he was just on a big hangout on Monday night, and Lord, he's just giving his time to help us as ambassadors. Lord, I pray that you'd bless him. I know they have a busy week at Plexus with the grand opening and everything that's going to take place there this week. I pray that you'd just be with them. Thank you for our company and for the leaders. I pray that you'd just bless them. In Jesus' name, amen. Guys, thank you so much for being on the hangout tonight. And from Pensacola, we say good night.
Night.
Bye.